Hey, what is going on everyone? It is me, Mr. Mario, and today I might sound a little bit different because I'm using the ModMic 4.0 from AntLion Audio as opposed to my normal Blue Yeti. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because, well, I'm doing a review over this microphone, so I figured I should probably use the microphone I'm reviewing in the video that I'm doing the review for. So these will be just kind of my thoughts and opinions on the microphone and whether I can recommend it or not. But before we get too far, full disclosure here, I was actually sent this microphone for free. You see, the good folks at AntLion Audio, specifically Joe from there, you are an awesome person for this, he ended up hitting me up and asked, hey, would you be interested in a ModMic 4.0? We'll just give it to you for free and that's it. You don't have to do anything with it. So at this point, it was just a gift to me. I was not given any incentive to review it or use it specifically. In fact, this is the first video on the channel that I've even used it on. All my other videos, I've used different microphones, but this is the first one I've used this microphone with. And I'm not getting paid for this review at all, so again, I really have no incentive. This is just kind of me being nice and wanting to inform you all about it, and because of FTC regulations, I do have to disclose that I have that relationship with AntLion. But aside from that, let's go on to the actual review of the microphone itself. Now we have to question, what is the ModMic 4.0? The ModMic is short for modular microphone, and the idea of it was crafted when the person who ended up creating this, or the team of people who created it, had an issue. You see, they ended up getting a few headsets that they liked, like they liked the audio on, but the microphones weren't that good, or they had some headphones that didn't have any type of microphone on them, so they had nice headphones with no microphone. And they said, why can't we just do something to compare the two so I can get any type of headphone or headset and then just put on a really nice microphone and have it be affordable? And that is where this came in. So the ModMic 4.0 is $50, and the idea of it is only a microphone, and you could stick it onto your favorite headphones, and then that's it. You have your favorite headphones that might be your favorite sounding ones or your most comfortable pair, and then you'll have a good microphone, and bam, you have a really nice headset that is probably optimized for gaming, because the people who did these things, they're gamers. Now, I'll also admit I have used this quite a bit, but I actually really haven't used it for gaming. In fact, I've used it at work. You see, I do a bunch of calls with customers and I want to change over to a VoIP solution, so I end up bringing this in and I was able to use it, and I got many compliments about the mic audio and the quality on it. In fact, I even got some compliments saying that people could hear everything, so I had to majorly turn down the gain, because even right now while I'm recording this on Windows, I'm recording at about 47 out of 100 gain. So trust me, the microphone's good and it's also powerful. But in addition to that, I also got a few other goodies that AntLion was awesome enough to send over to me, and that is the AntLion Audio USB adapter and the AntLion Audio Y adapter. Now, the USB adapter is designed so if you're like me and you don't want to use a 3.5mm jack for your microphone, you could just use this little USB device and you plug in your microphone, you plug in your headset, and everything turns into USB, and it makes it a bit easier. I prefer USB myself, so this is a huge positive for me, and that is what I use. The other piece is if you want to just combine everything together, or if you want to use it on a PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, for example, because that was one of my first thoughts, as I like to game on consoles. So what you can do is you could use this little device right here, which is the Y adapter, and you can plug in, again, your headphones and your microphone, and then you have everything working on that. Now, I have to say these are quite basic adapters, and while as they do look and feel nice, would I recommend them? To be honest, no, not the AntLion ones. This is going to be my first criticism. These things are expensive from AntLion, and I'm not sure why they are, but the USB adapter is $10, while as the Y adapter is $12. Now, I didn't get these for anything. I got them for free and as gifts, so that is pretty nice, but at the same time, I looked them up, and I kind of wanted to warn you all that even if I had to pay for them, I wouldn't, just because I feel like they are expensive, especially when I can go and find these online for half the price or even cheaper than on here. But what about the ModMic itself? The ModMic is only $50, and is it worth the $50? Well, let's see what we get in that first. First off, when you order this thing, if you only order the ModMic, you will get it in this nice little AntLion bag. When you open that up, you get a few things in there. First off, hopefully you should get the ModMic, because that's kind of the thing you paid for. You get this, it has a little toggle switch in the back for mute. It has a little piece of Velcro on it so you can tie it to everything with your headset and such, and you also get the end of it, which is a 3.5mm jack, so you can see it right there. You also get a few other things in there, which include a alcohol prep pad so you can clean any type of surface you want to stick the things to, some basic instructions, and also these little tiny magnetic clasps. Now, how do the magnetic clasps work? If you look on the other side of them, you could see that they are adhesives. What you do is you peel off the adhesive and you put it onto a surface you want to stick the ModMic, mic on, and you have it stuck on there. The ModMic itself uses magnets to stick onto these things, so therefore you just attach it to the clasp and it magnetizes itself to it, and you're good to go at that point. So that's it. The setup is extremely simple, and you can just put it onto whatever surface you want. Now, I've talked about what you get, but what about the audio quality? Because that's what you expect from a microphone. You buy something and you want it to sound nice, and I have to say, again, you're listening to it right now, and I hope it sounds nice because I was blown away at how it sounded. For this little $50 microphone, I wasn't expecting it to sound that good, but it sounds great. In fact, it sounds quite comparable to my Blue Yeti. I think the only thing I would say is really I just sound a little bit more bassier than I would have expected, but I could just go in and clean up the audio on there. And by the way, all the audio that I'm playing on here and that is being recorded, I have not edited it. I've not tried to clean it up. I'm literally just recording it and putting it into the video right here. Now, some people might say, oh, I could just get a cheaper like $5 or $10 mic, and that is true, and I actually thought of that because personally, I'm not a wired mic person. I'm not a 3.5mm mic person. I'm not even a headset person. Like, I really don't like using headsets all that often. However, I will say this thing I can make an exception for because I am completely blown away at how it sounds for a $50 microphone. And going back to the $5 or $10 cheap microphone thing, I've experienced many cheap microphones, and I'll tell you this, it's not that you spend more money, you get better microphone. That is not true at all. However, in most cases, you do want to invest a good amount of money into a microphone that you're going to be using, not only for reliability, but also for build quality and audio quality. And plus, there's only so much you can get out of a $5 or $10 microphone. And I digress, there's also so much you can get out of a $200 microphone. But the point is, if you're going to go with the cheaper alternatives, I wouldn't recommend getting like a cheap $5 or $10 mic unless you absolutely have to have one. But I will say this, AntLion, you all are awesome for this one. In fact, a few years ago, I ended up getting a microphone for around $40 or $50, which was the Blue Snowflake, because I was going to be traveling a bit and I want to have a on-the-go microphone. You know what? I'm actually going to start switching over to the ModMic because it goes on to any type of headset, as is the point, and it can stick to any other surfaces if you want to. Plus, on top of that, it sounds better than my Snowflake. It's honestly one of my best sounding microphones that I have in my collection, so I'm definitely going to be keeping this thing and using it. But would I recommend it as a daily driver? Yes, I actually would. Again, for $50, I am blown away by this thing, and I could not recommend this enough. So if that's about what your price point is and you're wanting something where you could use it with a headset, I could not recommend it any further, and that's what's supposed to be optimized for. Now, you might be saying, oh, well, I want to put it on my monitor, I want to put it on my desk, and you can. I mean, there's nothing stopping you. It's just I don't feel like the audio quality is going to be as well optimized on there, because even I myself, I just have it a few inches away from my mouth right now, and that is pretty optimal for what it is. So my final verdict on this microphone, I think it is great for flexibility, for portability, and for the price range and what you're getting for the quality you're getting on there in terms of build quality and audio quality. So at $50, I cannot recommend this thing enough. And also, if you're using it in a either gaming space or a office setting, whatever it is, it'll work for really anything, dude. It's just a microphone you end up putting on some headphones or a headset. However, the things I cannot recommend are the adapters, because I just feel like, yes, they do work, but they're quite basic and they are quite expensive. So the adapters I'd recommend getting elsewhere, but the ModMic 4.0, yes, total win in my book. And again, shout out to AntLion, and thank you all for sending this to me. I really appreciate it. Anyways, this is Mr. Mario signing off. Thank you all for watching, everyone. And if you enjoyed this review and you liked it and you kind of like the quality of this microphone, maybe you should show that appreciation with a like down below. And if you absolutely hated this, there's also a dislike button for you too.